Okay, so today we're gonna play with React. React is a front end, not framework. Notice this is a library. Front end libraries and frameworks are widely used nowadays simply because the applications now are distributed, serverless, service-oriented. So the front end actually is the glue which retrieves information from different services and puts the information together. Most of the front-end frameworks are in JavaScript. Actually, this was the law just 1-2 years ago. Right now, we have another frameworks like Blazor, for example, which is a C# front-end library for building front-end applications. React, why React? And how many are there? In the front end, the most popular are jQuery, which actually is not a library, it is a library, it's not a framework, it's not very comprehensive library, but it helps us a lot and still is very widely used. So vanilla JavaScript and jQuery is one option to use as a front end. jQuery doesn't give you the structure of your application. So it doesn't look like a skeleton, like, for example, .NET Core, and it doesn't give you the file structure. All this is left to you. You have to decide about that, how you're going to organize your application. jQuery actually gives you the libraries which provide you three things: DOM manipulation, remoting, and dynamic behavior. This is jQuery. And as I said, it's still widely used, not that popular anymore. Another library is React. This is the most used, the most popular library. It's still library because doesn't give you routing, so you have to install third-party libraries which provide you with the routing. Or, for example, another library, Redux. So you combine this library with another libraries in order to build your framework or your complete product. Now let's look at Angular. Angular is a complete framework, which means it's not something like a .NET Core. So the party decided how everything should look. There is a certain structure, and you have to follow this structure. So that's why the people love it, because don't make me think. They don't have to think anything. The routing, the status, and all this kind of stuff is taken care of already. Angular has already everything. It's a whole package. It's really a framework. And the last right now is Vue. Vue is also like React. React has been created by Facebook 2012, and it follows a specific ideas. I highly recommend the book The Road to React by Robin Wieruch. I don't know the pronunciation of his name, so I butchered his family name, but sorry about that. But let's follow this book. It's very pragmatic. I highly recommend it when you start learning React. So let's start.
Okay.
George. Okay. I will
So,
mute my microphone because I'm coughing right now. So George, just take a look and read it. Not
J-
comprehensively. You can skim it where you think you know the things, and let's follow it like we did with
um, so education for children. The book should be enable everyone to learn React. However, not everyone is privileged to use those resources because not everyone is educated in the English language. That's good because these guys make it like a child for the child. How to read it? Introduce. The chapter gives you an introduction to React. You may ask yourself, why should I learn React in first place? The chapter might give you the answer to that question. Afterward, you dive into ecosystem by bootstrapping your first React application from scratch with zero configuration. Along the way, You get an introduction to JSX and React DOM, so be prepared for your first React component. Okay, shall I read what is React?
Yes, I think so. It's worth reading this.
Okay, why should you bother to learn React? In recent years, single-page applications (SPA) have become popular. Frameworks like Angular, Ember, Backbone help JavaScript developers to build modern web applications beyond the usage of vanilla JavaScript and jQuery. The list of these popular solutions is not exhaustive. There exists a wide range of SPA frameworks. When you consider the release date, most of them are among the first generation of SPA: Angular 2010, Backbone 2010, and Ember 2011. The initial React release was 2013 by Facebook. React is not SPA framework but a view library. It is the V in the MVC, Model View Controller. It only enable you to render components as viewable elements in browser, yet the whole ecosystem around React make it possible to build single-page applications. But why should you consider using React over the first generation of SPA frameworks? While the first generation of frameworks tried to solve a lot of things at once, React only helps you to build your view layer. It is library and not a framework. The idea behind it, your view is a hierarchy of composable components. In React, you can keep the focus on your view layer before you introduce more aspects to your application. Every other aspect is another building blocks for your SPA. These building blocks are essential to build a major application. They come with two advantages. First, you can learn the building blocks step by step. You don't have to worry about understanding them together. It is different from framework that gives you every building blocks from the start. This book focuses on React as the first building block. More building blocks follow eventually. Second, all building blocks are interchangeable. It makes the ecosystem around React such an innovative place. Multiple solutions are competing with each other. You can pick the most appealing solution for you and your use case. The first generation of SPA framework arrived in the enterprise level. They are more rigid. React stays innovative and gets adopted by multiple tech though leader companies like Airbnb, Netflix, and of course Facebook. All of them invest in the future of React and are content with React and ecosystem itself. So our exercise is gonna be read about why I moved from Angular to React, React's flexible ecosystem, and how to learn a framework. So requirements. If you're coming from different SPA framework or library, you should already be familiar with the basics of web development. If you have just started in web development, you should feel comfortable with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript ES5 to learn React. The book will smoothly transition to JavaScript ES6 and beyond. I encourage you to join the official Slack group for the book to get help to others. Editor and terminal. What about the development environment? You will need a running editor or IDE and terminal. Command line tool. You can follow my setup guide. It is adjusted for Mac OS users, but you can substitute most of the tools for other operating systems. There is a ton of articles out there that will show you how to set up a web development environment in a more elaborated way for your OS. Optionally, you can use Git and GitHub on your own while conducting the exercises in the book. To keep your projects and the progress in repositories on GitHub, there exists a little guide on how to use these tools. But once again, it is not mandatory for the book and can be overwhelming when learning everything from scratch. So you can skip it if you are a newcomer in web development to focus on the essential parts taught in the book. Node and npm. Last but not least, you will need an installation of Node and npm. Both are used to manage libraries you need along the way. In this book, you will install external Node packages via npm Node Package Manager. This is like our Node-get package manager.
Exactly.
Yeah, these Node packages can be libraries or whole frameworks. You can verify your versions of Node and npm on the command line if you don't get any output.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to install it now.
Yeah, look, make a search in Google, find Node.js, download, install, and you will have Node Package Manager and Node at the same time.
Node.js
Node.js.
download.
Let me tell you what Node.js is. So Randall actually created Node.js based on V8. This is the engine. This is long-term support, and another one is current. Probably you should choose LTS because it's safer, long-term support, and depends on the computer. If you're more adventurous, you can download the current, which is full with bugs. Probably nobody guarantees, but recommended for most users LTS. I think LTS is gonna do the job.
Okay.
Yeah, save the file, install it, and you will have Node and npm. No, you just can click next. You won't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
npm is NuGet package manager for Node. So Randall added IO to JavaScript, which allows the JavaScript now to access files and communicate with the file system. That's all. This is, I'm just repeating the words of Randall himself. You can start right now PowerShell, which is our friend right now. This guy who has written the book actually is using Macintosh. So
Yeah.
now type node -v and you're ready to go.
Be 14.15.4. Yep.
Okay, so we meet the requirements.
We made
It tells
comments.
you how to install different things. npm also, npm -v shows you the package manager version.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we
you
got
have.
them both.
Mhm.
Command line -g flag tell npm to install the package globally. Um, this is situation where we install package, yeah? Name of the package.
Exactly. Something which I love about npm and other dependency managers, not NuGet. I don't know why in NuGet they don't have such thing, but here in all dependency managers, you always can use the flag -g, which means you install this package, but globally, so all the applications can use it. Or if you just miss -g, if you don't put it -g, the package is going to be installed only for this project, which means that you could have in a different projects the very same package with different versions.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. So, is it in React global? Gonna be global right now?
Yes, it's going to be global, the installer of React application. Just keep reading, you'll understand. It's, ah, mm, no, no, you shouldn't be running that. Just read the book
Okay.
because,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. This chapter gives. I was thinking this is only a setup environment, like what we install Node from MSI from this Node.js.org. I was
mhm,
thinking we install already this stuff,
mhm.
but yeah. However, I'm gonna keep reading the book. This chapter gives you a little crash course in Node and NPM. It is not exhaustive, but you will get all the necessary tools. If you're familiar with both of them, you can skip the chapter. The Node Package Manager allows you to install external Node packages from the command line. These packages can be a set of utility functions, libraries, or whole frameworks. They are the dependencies of your application. You can either install these packages to your global Node package folder or to your local project folder. Global node packages are accessible from everywhere in the terminal. You have to install them only once to your global directory. You can install a global package by tapping in your terminal. And that's the example, which we don't have to do, yeah?
No, we don't,
The
of course.
-g flag tell npm to install the package globally. Local packages are used in your application. For instance, React as a library will be a local package which can be required in your application for usage. Oh yeah, that's what you mean, yeah. You can install it via the terminal by typing npm install package. In the case of React, it will be npm install React.
I
The
would offer
install,
you, sorry to interrupt
yeah,
you, shall we clean up right now the comment which you did? Because you did something right now in your folder, in your PowerShell right now.
yeah,
And go there. Okay, type ls, so you'll see the folders here. Oh, there's too many. Oh my god. Okay, so you have no npm right now created for you a package, a folder which is called node underscore module. So no, stay in system,
yeah.
because we want to clean up the system32 folder. Inside of this folder, npm has created. Go back to say Windows System 32. Yeah, copy this. Yeah, exactly. Change directory. Okay. Now, change directory. Node. Start typing node, and after that type. Yeah. See this folder. No, don't continue. This folder has been created for you, but is not necessary to be here. So, in order to clean up the mess which we created, we have to delete these node modules, because inside of this folder React has been installed together with all dependencies. Go back one level and say rm remove node modules. Exactly. Just to clean up the mess. Yes to all. Yes to all.
Yeah,
Make sure that this folder disappeared completely.
yeah, there is
Yeah,
no.
it's gone. Okay. So now let's continue. Let's continue further now.
Yeah. Sorry. Ah,
Do you find this useful? I think this
yeah,
book
yeah. I found it very useful so far.
this book is gonna teach you how to do things. And
So you're installing React in that's library in your project.
exactly. It's gonna install the React, this library, into your Node project. Because with Node.js, you can start as you did with C Sharp. You can create applications, you can create everything, and you can add this library to your project, React project,
Okay.
React application. Just keep reading.
Okay. The installed package will automatically appear in a folder called Node modules and will be listed in the package.json file next to your other dependencies. But how to initialize the Node modules folder and the package.json file for your project in the first place? There is an npm command to initialize an npm project and thus a package.json file. Only when you have that file, you can install new local package via npm. npm init.
This turns one folder into a Node project. npm init creates the file which is called project.json. In project.json is a metadata about what libraries has been installed with Node underscore modules. Do you
Yeah.
follow me?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it. So this is the relationship. This is the correlation between the content of the Node modules and the file into the project.
Yep. The Y flag is a shortcut to initialize all the defaults in your package.json. If you don't use the flag, you have to decide how to configure the file. After initializing your npm project, you are good to install new packages via npm. One more word about the package.json. The file enables you to share your project with other developers without sharing all the node packages. The file has all the references of node packages used in your project. These packages are called dependencies. Everyone can copy your project without the dependencies. The dependencies are references in the package.json. Someone who copied your project can simply install all packages by using npm install on the command line. The npm install script takes all the dependencies listed in the package and install them in the node modules folder. So this is when yeah, you copy and paste and you just npm install and it's reading from your package.json and install all the modules you need for your program.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the save dev flag indicates that the node package is only used in the development environment. It will not be used in production when you deploy your application on a server. What kind of node package could that be? Imagine you want to test your application with the help of a node package. You need to install that package via npm, but want to exclude it from your production environment. Testing should only happen during the development process, but not when your application is already running in production. There you don't want to test your application anymore. It should be tested already and work out of the box for your users. That's only one use case where you would want to use minus minus safe minus def flag. You encounter more npm commands on your way, but this will be sufficient for now. Exercises. Set up a throwaway npm project. Create a new folder with mkdir folder name. Navigate into folder. Execute npm init or npm no, npm init or npm init. Install a local package like React with npm install React. Have
You
a look
already did it.
at the package. Eh?
I said you already did it. So we don't
Yeah,
have to do the exercises here,
yeah,
especially.
yeah.
That's
The
absolutely
basic, isn't it?
basic. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are multiple approaches to get started with React application. The first one is to use CDN. That may sound more complicated than it is. CDN is a content delivery network. Several companies have CDN that host files publicly for people to consume them. These files can be libraries like React, because after all the bundles React library is only a React.js JavaScript file. It can be hosted somewhere and you can require it in your application. How to use CDN to get started in React? You can inline the script, tag in your HTML that points to CDN URL. To get started in React, you need two files, libraries, React and React.dom. So,
Actually, you can create one HTML file and just add these 2 lines of code to your HTML and you're ready to go with React.
well,
React is
this,
a JavaScript library.
yeah. So, shall I do that?
If you like.
Not really. So just I'll
Go
make
to your project. This is just exercise. This is just
cd uh, np react.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna make one file. Actually, why I work like new text document.
No, actually open this folder into view code and create. Oh, you probably don't have Emmet.
Ah,
I was suggesting to create one. Do you know there are a lot of yeah like that. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Create. Just rename it to index.html, so it's gonna become an HTML page. HTML5. Okay. So go to internet right now. Let's copy the code for this then. Remember the last time we were looking for HTML5 startup code or something? Actually, it's called Bootstrap. This is another thing which I want to show you.
Maybe I can start it with. I
Code.
can. Yes, just I start it with code.
Yeah, exactly. Open index.
Yeah.
You can try with exclamation mark tap tap, but I don't think you have the plugin.
What shall
Exclamation
I write?
exclamation mark tap tap. Udivitelno tap
Just ah
tap. Works.
yeah.
Here we go. Before title, actually, you add these 2 lines of code and you're done. After line six, after line six.
After line 6,
Mhm.
here in document.
No, no, no. After title. Yeah, here, paste it. You're adding script right now. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, that's because, go back. That's because you have to delete the forward slash. There are 2 slashes on line 7. Delete, delete, delete. Backspace, backspace, backspace. space. Script actually finishes with only /. Delete again. Delete again. Because this code comes from the Mac. That's it.
Ah, yeah, I understand now. Yeah, because of the directories. With Mac OS
It's putting
is
this
backslash.
/ at the end
Backslash, yes, understand.
because
So
it's
not,
Unix.
yeah,
And if you the same on line 9, go on line 9, development, and the T, just delete again. Okay, now it's fine. Now it's fine. No, bring the script back.
yeah.
Yeah. It's open and close tags. It's container tag, but doesn't contain anything anyway. Just indentation on line 8. Fix this. Yeah, that's it. So that's enough actually to start using React. Now you can start using it. That's all. Actually, you need more things. Go and read the book right now. But you
Yep.
understand the drill, right?
Yeah. But why should you use CDN when you have npm to install node package such as React? When your application has a package.json file, you can install React and React DOM from the command line. The requirement is that the folder is initialized as npm project by using npm init -y with a package.json file. You can install multiple node packages in one line with npm.
So it
Uh,
says you don't have to do this manually. You don't
yeah,
have to do it this way in HTML file. You can
yeah,
do it actually with
just
npm, and package file is going to be created for you, so you will know the dependencies of your application and all this kind of stuff. But those are only examples. This is theory, still theory.
yeah.
In theory, you can start with one simple HTML file. You can put these 2 lines of code, and you're ready to go. But it's better to use npm because it gives you the folder and structure and all this kind of stuff. It gives you actually the package, dependency manager, all this kind of stuff.
hmm
Yeah, keep reading, please.
Okay, so this one is just
Yeah, you can skip some parts.
zero configuration setup. In the role to learn React, you use create React app to bootstrap your application. It's an opinionated yet zero configuration starter kit for React introduced by Facebook in 2016. People would recommend to beginners by 96%. In Create React App, the tooling and configuration evolve in the background while the focus is on the application implementation. To get started, you have to install the package to your global node packages. After that, you always have it available on the command line to bootstrap new React applications. npm install g create
Do you
React
understand
app.
that now?
Yeah, so they give you out of the box like
Exactly. They give you a template,
yeah,
which
Facebook
is
made that.
gonna give you exactly the application, the React application immediately. So you don't have to create index, you don't have to add lines of code, or you don't even have to manually install npm React DOM, blah 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 blah. You have everything necessary for a React application, including the structure. So it's like a template for a NuGet package manager, but you have to install it.
Yeah,
So
shall we try this one?
yes, you have to install it. Yeah, definitely. Run
Yeah.
it.
Do I need to be in another or is in same folder I can do it?
No, it doesn't matter. When you put the -G,
I see
this
global. Yeah,
is the global. So it can be run from any place. So
Done.
yeah, now you can choose create React application and it's gonna work. Go and
So
read it.
create. You can check the version of your Create React to verify successful installation on your command line.
Okay,
So
let's do that.
let's see. They use Vue 1.5.
Our
We use
you have to close and open another terminal probably because there is no path to it. Probably.
okay.
This is one version. This is one theory. Mhm. If it doesn't work, then we'll try with run.
So create React minus version. Oh no. Oh, this is, yeah.
Is not recognized, so doesn't matter. Why don't you try npm create? Put npm up front of create React API. npm. Voila.
1614. Yeah.
So we found the first mistake in the book.
Now you can bootstrap your first React application. We call it Hacker News.
Yeah, this is the application which we're going to use. By the way, I love Hacker News. So we are going to use the backend of the Hacker News, which offer API, which can be replaced with our own API. You can make a search for Hacker News and you will see how it looks in the browser, just for fun, just for curiosity.
Hacker News.
Hacker News application.
That's...
Oh no, why the pictures? No,
No.
it's a website. It's a website. Just without application. Hacker News. Just search for Hacker News. Uh, Click on the first one. Here it is. This is how it looks. You got a lot of information from the Silicon Valley. Actually, this comes from the Silicon Valley.
Is that like a forum or something?
Yeah, something like that. So you got the latest versions, the latest news.
Mm-hmm.
But look, it's ugly. So we're gonna use their API.
Yeah, it's very heavy. Okay. So now you can bootstrap your first React application. We call it Hacker News, but you can choose a different name. The bootstrapping takes a couple of seconds. Afterward, you simply navigate into the folder. So we're gonna
Yeah,
create.
now it's time to create our application. The previous one was just nothing. You can close the view Visual Studio Code. This is the application we are going to work throughout the entire course.
Okay, so I make a folder Hacker News.
Actually, Hacker News is going to be created for you when you start creating the application. When you run create blah blah.
This one, yeah.
This one, but you should prefix with npm npm. What?
Usage npm. Where? Command is npm. So I think we should not use it.
Remove npm and let's try again.
No.
Where is the problem?
So create React Hacker News npm. So where npm command access audit binbox cache blah 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 npm command
-h.
-h.
I think you use it properly. -h.
If there's no create app, probably we didn't. Oh, we have to maybe install first, but we got it.
We installed.
Okay. How to use create React app in the latest version.
I'm also surprised.
Command not
We'll try
found.
several times and we'll figure this out.
Command not found. GitHub. Following the simple setup instruction, create React app, command not found. Controlling npm install.
We did that.
Are you able to call any other global node utilities? npm install copy. If not, it's likely. And he said that fix it. Shall we try it?
npm install. What is that? Not utilities. Try. Are you able to call? I don't know. Yeah, try.
Goopy. What's that?
Call group.
Group. If you have global models get installed, for example. Oh, we may install it, but not globally. We install it, but we didn't install it globally.
Why do you think so? We set -g. Run it again.
Yeah. Updated.
One package.
Okay, now we can try. Create React Hacker News. npm. No.
Usage npm command. Command is one. Okay. npm run. Why don't you try npm run? Create React application hacker news. Just hit the up arrow key. Yeah. npm. npm run create React hacker news. Is it giving you errors?
Yeah, it's giving error. Error. No such file directory open. Package.json. We don't
Close.
have package.json.
Yeah, we
We
don't.
should have package.json in that folder.
No. Close the PowerShell and open it again. Close. Yeah, open another PowerShell. Try create React just to see if it works. The strange thing is that it was working before.
What's happening? Ah.
Control C. Open again. We'll figure out that. It's not a problem.
Now, what shall we do now?
Try again. Try again. Create React application hacker news. What
No.
does it say? Red.
Say, create React app files roaming npm create cannot be loaded. The file is not digitally signed. You cannot run this script on the current system. For more information about running scripts and settings,
Do you know what? Run the PowerShell as administrator.
I did it first in first place. It was as
Did you
administrator.
do it?
It's not digitally signed. You cannot run this script on the current system.
You cannot run on the current system. Yeah, it's very strange. We'll figure out something.
Let me do this one now. I'll just Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
I'm trying to create React, but it keeps telling me unauthorized access.
Scroll
Okay.
down and we'll see the solution.
Yeah. Solution. If you do not have admin access, follow the below with command Set-ExecutionPolicy is called CurrentUser.
Yeah, you have to run this in the PowerShell folder.
What, this one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oops. execution policy. What I have to enter here? Policy defaults, and you can change the PowerShell execution policy with set. So I have to say unrestricted, yes?
Yeah, unrestricted. Yes,
Yes.
whoa.
Okay.
The guy is giving
Now,
another comment as well. Now it works.
yeah.
But now the project is created in your Windows System 32. So it wasn't actually React problem, is what
Ah,
it was a Windows problem.
wow. Yeah, I'm doing my system 32.
It doesn't matter. You will remove the entire folder and that's it.
Or I'm just gonna copy and paste for.
No, remove it. Just for let's do it again for fun. Uh, okay, so can you copy and paste this comment to me, which you execute on the and link to this nice guy who gave us the solution from Stack Overflow. So I will give him a credit under the video, and you also deserve a credit. Of course, you're getting the credit for the entire record. Just the link of the this. See, it wasn't actually a problem of React.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
maybe I stumbled upon such problems, but because on my machine I am using it already for 3 years, I probably stumbled upon the same problem and I changed my policy. Who knows when and for what? And since then, I don't even remember that.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Mine is
Pretty
near
new. Yeah.
installation. Yeah.
Yeah, delete the Hacker News now. Remove rm Hacker News, say A or all, and all the folders, everything is going to be removed from your system 32. This is
Okay.
not a suitable place for Hacker News. Yeah. A. Oops.
It is not empty. Yeah.
That's fine. We'll go to the File Explorer and delete it. Because again, the same rules. Um, you have to be administrator, blah, 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 blah. Go to your Windows System 32 and delete it from there. Now it's
Yep.
gone. Okay, so let's go to D. This, by the way, is a real part of the ninja. Whatever they say in the tutorials is a lie, because creating programs is going back and forth. It's not always straightforward. Actually, the guys which are showing on the tutorials how something is done have have done it many times. They have tried the wrong ways many times. And here we're improvising. So,
Yeah, they've been and they have a schedule with what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it.
oh, definitely, they have a
How we
list
are
to
doing
do.
it. We're doing it on go
Yeah,
or
exactly.
real life situation.
Real life situation. Yeah, it doesn't create a complex of the newcomers. That
Yeah,
wow.
they skim it for short videos and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. The people looking for fast solutions. They don't looking for um, problems which you face and you solve. But it's good to have this problem recorded because you usually forget. It's good to
Yeah.
know how to solve this issue.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Thanks God you found the solution very quickly. This is exactly what you have to do. Exactly. So you're a developer. ls, make sure Hacker News is there and follow the tutorial.
Yeah.
Go to Hacker News. You can start your IDE, which is Visual Studio Code. Everybody's using Visual Studio Code. And voila.
Well.
As you can see, you have something like a C# project. Yeah, here we go, the package. You have a source, you have everything. Now you can even start it.
Can I?
Yes, you can. You can say npm run and it starts. Or even
Is it here Node.js or
uh, I have no idea. I know how to start from the command line.
okay? npm run.
Run. Try npm start. See, it creates for you a server. Yes, allow access. And voila, your first React application.
Mm. Is that all?
That's all. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it tells you what to change, but now we have to read the book. Continue
Yep.
reading and follow.
So now you can open the application in your editor. The following folder structure or variation of it depends on the Create React App version should be presented to you. Yeah, we've seen that already.
Mhm.
It's here. A short breakdown of the folder and files. It is fine if you don't understand all of them in the beginning. README, this is README file. Node modules, the folder has all the node packages that were and are installed via npm. Since you have used Create React App, there should be already a couple of node modules installed for you. So let me see, node modules, and here's the modules. Is that modules? All of it.
No, that's not modules. In Node modules, don't look at Node modules. Node modules is not for human eyes. This is
Okay.
not for the developer. Actually, those are the libraries which are necessary to run the React application.
Oh yeah, I understand. Package.json, the file shows you a list of node packages, dependencies, and other project configuration. Package.json, here it is. Hacker news,
Mhm.
scripts, git ignore, we know that. Public, the folder holds all your files when building your project for production. Eventually, all your written code in the source folder will be bundled into a couple of files when building your project and placed into the public folder. Manifest and register service, don't worry about it. After all, you don't need to touch the mentioned files and folders in the beginning. Everything you need is located in the source folder. So only here.
Exactly. This is all you need.
Yep.
So,
So now, Create React application is npm project. You can use npm to install and uninstall node packages to your project. Additionally, it comes with the following npm scripts for your command line. Command line runs the application in HTTP npm start, yeah, npm test, npm run build. We tried scripts,
that's it. No,
exercise.
we're not gonna do the exercises.
Introduction to JSX. Now you get to know JSX. It is the syntax in React. As mentioned before, Create React App has already bootstrapped a boilerplate application for you. All files come with default implementations. Let's dive into the source code. The only file you will touch in the beginning will be the source app.js file. So app.js, this is our file.
Uh-huh.
They are doing it here. Don't let yourself confused by the import export statements and class declaration. These features are already JavaScript ES6. We will revisit those in later chapter. In the file you have an React ESX class component with the name app. It is component declaration. Basically, after you have declared a component, you can use it as an element everywhere in your application. It will produce an instance of your component, or in other words, the component gets instantiated. So this is the component app.
Yeah, terminology is very, very important. So as you can see, you have a component which gets instantiated into element on your front end, somewhere on the page.
It's like class and objects.
Exactly. Those are classes and objects.
Yeah. So the element it return is specified in the render method. Render method.
The book is outdated, I guess.
Okay, yeah, probably. Elements are what components are made of. It is useful to understand the difference between component, instance, and element. We already discussed that. Pretty soon you see where the app component is instantiated. Otherwise, you wouldn't see the rendered output in the browser, would you? The app component is only the declaration, but not the usage. Yes, correct. You would instantiate the component somewhere in your JSX with app. So that's how they do the initialization.
Actually,
App.
what you have created with this app component is you added to the HTML another tag, which is called app. So
So we just started here.
in
Right.
index.js, in
In
index.js, look,
yes, that's the
exactly.
initialization.
Like that, you can create as many new tags as you want, and you can put it everywhere on your page.
Okay, and that's actually
The component itself,
doing the
the magic.
so
If
all the logo, wherever you put in there.
yeah, mhm.
Okay, understand. Uh,
The book is a little bit outdated, and the class usually is JavaScript class, as you can see in the book. Because look at now how they present the class. But the new tendency in React is instead of classes to use directly functions.
okay, yeah. Class
Mhm.
and function.
And instead of class here you have a function. That's why you don't have a render method, and that's why the render method doesn't return uh, doesn't have a return. But here in the function, whatever you return,
Yeah, you return, and you don't have any returns here.
you don't
You
have a
write
render
function
method, but you have
straight away.
return. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now you only return HTML in your render method without JavaScript. Let's define the welcome to the role to learn React as a variable. A variable can be used in JSX by using curly braces. So var hello world equal to welcome.
Mhm. Before
Uh,
return, you have to define this before return, before line 5. This is the place where you put your local variables in the function.
yeah. I understand because
Mhm.
this the whole block is returned.
Yeah.
It should be something like that.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
ice.
Yeah.
Okay. So now when also now we have to call that function, that variable, isn't it, to list it somewhere?
Yes. Hmm. But now you can remove whatever bullshit is there. Put right now.
Here,
Uh-huh.
return
Hmm.
everything.
Not everything from
Class
opening
A.
return to the closing bracket to 9 to 25. All this no without 25. Return should be in bracket.
I understand.
Now here you have to put one div or whatever. Hmm.
Yeah.
And
And
here you can use your variable, which is hello world.
but
But look at how you do that. Go back.
div class h2. No, we don't have to remove this one. Div class.
Okay.
Yeah, which I was yeah, and I think this header as well. Yeah. So we have to remove only this one.
Hmm. Yeah, if you like, leave it as it is. Yeah, leave it as that, like that. Another one also is gonna work. You don't need a div in this case.
Yeah, h2. They use h2.
Just h2 it's enough. And look how you use the variable. Exactly like in C Sharp, if you remember. When you put up front of the string $, and you put quotation marks, Inside of the expression of the string, you use a curly braces and you put the variable, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the very same thing. Save it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to even refresh the browser. Go back to the browser. See what happens?
Yeah, the magic.
The magic happens. Actually, auto refresh.
Yeah, yeah, it's auto refreshing.
Yeah, and this comes from the Create React project. It installs the library which auto refreshes at the same time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, it should work when you start your application on the command line via npm start. We don't do that anymore. Additionally, you might have noticed the class name attribute. It reflects. Where is that attribute? Okay. Attribute in HTML. Yeah, because of terminal reasons, Jackson had to replace a handful of internal HTML attributes. You can find all the supported HTML. They all follows the camel case convention. On your way to learn React, you come across some more JSX specific attributes.
Mhm.
Exercise, we don't need that.
Just because we're using an older version of the book, I'm gonna show you something. If you go back to the code and replace this function with a class, nothing's gonna change. Just instead of function, say class here, and look what you have to inherit right now. You have to inherit component. Look back to the book. Go back to the book. Let's experiment a little bit. Go back and see how it looks. Extends component, right?
Yeah, so we have to do this one.
Okay. You don't need the open and closing brackets because it's not function anymore. And right now, component is not known here.
And this is the component, yeah?
No, 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 no. Wait a second. I mean
Oh,
the
because
name
it's
component.
returned.
Look at on line 4. You extend something. You extend another class, which is called component, right?
Yes.
Now, this magic doesn't happen here for free.
Oh, is it the component, the basic class which you have
Exactly.
created?
This is what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. But the
I understand.
component doesn't come here in JavaScript for free. You have to
Yeah,
import it. Look at the first line and copy the first line.
this one, yeah.
Yeah, copy this. Go back.
Yeah, you have to import.
Mhm.
Oops.
Yeah, like that. It works right now. Because it what says is I want you to import the class component.
Component from library React.
Exactly. This is what it says.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you gotta go and create another a method which is called render. Look, they have a render method,
Mm,
which is wrapping the return, and the var hello world should be there
should be
inside of this method render.
uh, actually,
Yeah, look
yes.
at this. Yeah, exactly.
Correct, I got you, yeah. Now we open curly
Yeah, you have to be
braces.
able to interpret all these things and just using analogy actually to like a musician, you know?
Yeah.
You have to be able to interpret all these things. Interpretation. What you're missing right now, it's the closing curly brace of the render.
Of the render, but where they should be.
After the return, after the closing of return, line 16, after the semicolon, after the semicolon, after the
Correct.
semicolon.
It's working.
Mm, yeah, put it here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And also put it on a new line. Put it in so the indentation. Yeah. Now fix the indentation. From line 16 to line 8, actually they should be indented because something like that. Yeah. Now it's better.
Okay,
Okay. Try and see if it works. Go to the browser.
it's working.
Yep. You don't even have to refresh.
Uh,
This is just because in the book Mostly they're using classes. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it is.
Actually,
So I,
.NET Core. When you say what was it in .NET? NuGet, watch, run, something like that,
yeah.
and
Watch.
you have the same effect. You make changes, it gets compiled immediately, and you see the results immediately.
As soon as you save, it's there.
Mhm. Okay,
And
so let's
shall we back? Shall we back to the original?
maybe
Like
should leave it as it is right now because the book actually is using a class.
follow that, yeah.
Mhm. Let's follow the book.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess you noticed that we declared the variable hello world with a var statement. JavaScript ES6 comes with two more options to declare your variables, const and let. In JavaScript ES6 you rarely find var anymore. A variable declared with const cannot be reassigned or redeclared. It cannot get mutated, changed, modified. You embrace immutable data structures by using it. Once the data structure is defined, you cannot change it. So if you will constant it, then we are not going to be able to change it later on.
Yeah, you understand that problem.
Yes. Like every other language.
Like everywhere else, even in C sharp, if you set const
Yeah.
and you try to change it, it's not gonna work, of course. This is for
Yep.
absolute lame users, which are just starting the program, not even familiar with any programming language.
Mhm. So let it's allowing to get changed. So if we change now to let, and they say what they say is, and I'm very confused by that. Yeah,
Mhm.
they say you're not gonna see, you will rarely find var anymore.
I will explain you. Listen, before in ECMAScript 5 standard, var was only the way you define a new variable. Do you follow me so far?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So this was only the way, but there was a problem which was called hoisting. Hoisting, which means that if down in the code I declare a variable, this variable hoists to the top of the block. This variable is known, but is still undefined, which they consider as an error by design for JavaScript. When Ike, I don't think so, but when Brendan Ike has created this language, they accuse him he made a lot of mistakes, design mistakes. I don't think so, but that's whatever it is. So it makes it difficult for the developers to figure out the problems, the errors, and all this kind of stuff. Do you follow so far?
Yes, yes.
So the way was var created into the language they didn't like. So they decided, okay, just to be backward compatible, we are going to keep var, but we are going to create two more keywords. One of them is const, another one is let. And let doesn't have this problem. The variable cannot be hoisted anymore, even though this disadvantage I used for my advantage, but that's opinion of somebody. So they introduced these two new ways to declare variable.
For me, var is more like I don't know about usage of resources,
Mhm.
declaring a var, but var is more flexible and like you can use it everywhere. And now they just replace it with let, isn't it? Like this is like straight replacement, and then they just put const as
Listen,
a
now
variable.
in ECMAScript 6, they recommend to use let because let, the variables which are defined with declared and defined with let, actually they don't have this defect by birth, this birth defect. They accuse the variables created with var have a problem. So to avoid this problem, they have created this new keyword. So actually, if you're not a very high-ranked guru in JavaScript, better use let.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is the new
Save
standard.
is a flexible as well, isn't it? Like you can change with a string, integer,
No, it's
whatever.
the same. It's the same. For the var, you can do the same.
Okay.
Whatever you
Just
can do with var, you
that's
can
the
do with let.
rules.
The only
Don't
difference is the
worry.
hoisting,
Yeah.
so-called hoisting. And they
Yeah,
consider hoisting
I didn't quite understand that hoisting, to be honest.
yes, hoisting is very difficult to understand, but they say it's a source of errors. So they introduced a new way to declare your variables, and since var is already taken,
Hmm.
they
They
decided to add
play.
let. That's it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Actually, everywhere, if you use var and let and you use them correctly, you won't even notice the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Okay.
it. The new wave is using let and that's it. Forget about
Yeah.
the var
That's
and that's it.
yeah. You would use it when you would need to reassign a variable. However, you have to be careful with const. A variable declared with const cannot get modified, but when the variable is an array or object, the value it holds can get updated. The value it holds is not immutable. So hello world, and then it's gonna give me. It's not gonna get
It's
fully
allowed.
right.
So you can change the
Yeah,
value of the properties.
const. And now it's not gonna be changed. Where
No, it's giving
is?
you error
Oh yeah, error.
because it's a const and it's a string. But if okay, but if you say const and you declare a new object here in JavaScript, you don't have to create a new class in order to create object. All the objects could be anonymous. Remember the anonymous objects in C Sharp?
Yeah,
Okay,
var name of the object equal, and then you
curly
make a
braces.
only single object, and you cannot
Exactly, exactly
reuse
like
that.
that.
You can reuse. You cannot. Yeah, it's coming with the price that you cannot change that object,
Yes,
isn't
but
it?
in JavaScript, you can change the properties. You can change
Okay.
the values of the properties. In JavaScript, it's different. Create one
Okay.
object if you like, or copy from just to test it.
So var.
No, no,
Uh,
say const, and in this const you assign a object.
okay. Object name is
Name it object because we don't have
object equals to.
open, close, curly braces. Put semicolon at the end, and that's it. This is enough for JavaScript to create an object. That's
Mhm.
it. Now, if you want, now, when you assign this object to the constant, you can declare at the same time different properties with values. Just hit enter. This is how
Yeah.
you do it. Just hit enter, or on this very same line, just type the name of one property. Say name. Say name, for example. Okay,
Name.
let's make it a person. Let's this person have a name.
Can I do it like that?
Yeah,
Because
you
it's
can
more
do it, of
easy
course.
for me.
Name.
Yeah. So name.
Name. A semicolon. It's not equal here. It's semicolon. And sorry, colon. Just colon. Две точки.
Like that.
Yeah, like that. And in put a string right now and say Stoyan or George. But should be in
String.
should be in not exclamation. Should be in
Curly brace.
quotation marks. No, no, quotation marks
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry,
because
sorry.
it's
I
a
understand.
string.
I understand. Yeah, yeah.
Stoyan.
Stoyan.
Put comma at the end and enter and say age 57. That's it. Age.
H57.
Yeah, that's a person. Stoyan, right?
Should I finish here like that or no?
No, you don't finish like that. It's done
That's it.
already. That's it. That's the object. Now you have the object, which is Stoyan. Right now you haven't
Yeah.
defined a class or something. And what they say is that the object, the name object, cannot be replaced right now. You can call it, for example, Stoyan. Instead of object, give the name Stoyan. but should be in small. Should be start with small letter because it's a local variable.
Is it objects not with capital letters?
Yes, no. All instances, even if C# are with small letters. This is directly an object. The object.
Ah, yeah,
Only the
sorry.
classes are with big
Yeah,
letters.
yeah,
Now, if you
I see,
try
yeah.
to Stoyan to assign another object, it's not going to allow you. Just hit enter and say
Can I?
Stoyan.
Yeah.
Down, if you go Stoyan on line 15, for example,
Yeah.
make space. Say Stoyan equals something, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. This is not a strictly typed language, so it should allow you to do that. Say, and put semicolon, you will get error. Go to the browser and you'll see the error. See, it's not strictly typed by React. Oh my God, why? You shouldn't allow me to do that.
No, because you're never using it.
We probably, but it should give
So I
me
have
error.
to Stoyan here, and now it's gonna
Stoyan,
give
but
you.
put dot. No, 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 it's not allowed. Now put dot Stoyan. No, no, after Stoyan. Now how you access the properties
Ah,
of an
yeah, yeah,
object?
Stoyan dot h or dot
Yeah,
name
yeah, exactly. And try now. Yeah,
error.
error. So
But if I do var here,
var should work.
work
Works, but doesn't work for some reason. I don't know why.
because we change. But
Um,
we have to
oh
say
yeah, yeah.
Stoyan dot h here, yeah.
Yeah, 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 exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
No, yeah. See, if you say const right now, it's not gonna work. Now it's gonna work. Now it's gonna work simply because it shouldn't allow you to replace Stoyan with another object or another something. But they say is that allows you to replace the properties. So even though the object itself is a constant, the properties are not constants.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I understand. The properties are not constant. Yeah, you can change the properties.
You can change the properties. That's all.
I cannot change the name, probably.
You can change the name. The
But what?
property name, you can change it.
But I cannot change the. I cannot add. But what is this constant defending them?
The Stoyan. Try to assign a value, a different value to Stoyan on line 15. Remove H, remove the properties, and try to assign to Stoyan 2. Okay? Go back and see. Now it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
problem.
I understand. Yeah, you fix that with these properties.
So Stoyan is gonna have one constant, one object. If you change constant right now to something else, to let or var, now Stoyan doesn't care. The variable Stoyan with the name Stoyan will have
Yeah, you defend it as a object
exactly
because later on you can change it Stoyan to be
true.
a number or name just, but not an object.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if this is the case, you're gonna
So
get
I can
there.
let here.
Now it's gonna
Yeah,
work. Now it's
I
gonna
know.
work. It's not
Yeah.
gonna give you anything because 2
If I
doesn't
just
have this
put just
property
here
H.
Stoyan,
It's gonna work.
it's gonna work. Yeah, I got it
Okay,
completely.
that's it.
Yes.
You got it, right?
Yeah, completely. But when to use declaration, there are different opinions. Yeah, we already discussed that. We already discussed that. By discussing ourselves, we discuss
Yeah, of
one
course.
full page. Yeah.
It's
React DOM. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. DOM.
mhm.
I always been interesting. DOM. What is DOM and
DOM
how?
is document object model. When the browser gets actually the HTML is nothing more than a recipe. The browser reads the recipe and creates the DOM. The DOM is a tree-like structure,
Yeah.
and the nodes are actually the different elements. So that's it. Let's read it.
Okay, before we continue with the app component, you might want to see where it is used. It is located in your entry point into the React Works source index.js file. So import Important for React DOM.render app. So you have
In
app
index.js, we have it already. Index.
index. Oh yeah, index.js. So you have that React DOM.
Mhm. This is where your application starts, actually. If it is
The
index.js, you don't have
startup.
app, nothing's gonna
This is
happen.
the startup point of your
Yeah,
application.
this
Yeah.
is the entry point of the application.
Okay. Basically, React DOM render uses a DOM node in your HTML to replace it with your JSX. That's how you can easily integrate React in every foreign application. It is not forbidden to use React DOM to render multiple times across your application. You can use it at multiple places to bootstrap simple JSX syntax, a React component, multiple React components, or a whole application. But in plain React application, you will only use it once to bootstrap your whole component tree. React DOM.render expects two arguments. The first argument is JSX that gets rendered. The second argument specifies the place where the React application hooks into your HTML. It expects an element with an ID equal root. You can open your public index HTML file to find the ID attribute. We don't have to do that, we understand it. In the implementation, React DOM.render already takes your app component. However, it would be fine to pass simpler JSX as long as it is JSX. It doesn't have to be an instantiation of a component. So reaction render h1 hello react world document dot get element by id.
Document get element by ID. Actually, it's a standard DOM method, which selects a given HTML element. The HTML element unique identifier is called ID. Go back to the index JavaScript in your Visual Studio Code. Look now, look, you have it.
Yeah,
Get
I got
element
it.
by ID. Find this element, root.
Yeah,
Do you see this root somewhere? I don't.
but uh,
But if you go to the public, go to the public folder, public, and open the index HTML. Look at now root. Find the root.
shift what was
Control F.
control
Just scroll down. You'll find it. Scroll down.
it is here.
Here we go. This is the entry point. This is the entire entry point of the application. So this is the HTML file. This is the connection between the index HTML and index JavaScript. Div ID root. Do you see it?
Yeah. This HTML file is a template. If you open it directly, it will be empty. You can add web front, meta tags, or analytics. Yeah. Run npm start or yarn start to create a production bundle. Use npm run build or yarn build. Okay. Yeah. This is the entry point. This is where your HTML get connected with JavaScript, isn't it?
Exactly. In this element, 31 actually opens the door, on line 31, opens the door to your entire application. And what they say is that you can have many places in the HTML file when you can render different things. By the way, if you go to index JavaScript, they tell you that you don't actually have to render a component here. Instead of this app on line 9, you can put something else. You can put something else. Go to the book and copy the code. See?
React render h1.
H1 hello React world H1. Copy just this. They say that here you can put whatever you like.
Yeah, but I don't understand what's the purpose of this.
Without this, React DOM actually, whatever comes from your components is not gonna be rendered into the HTML.
Ah, yeah. So this is rendering.
This is
Uh,
rendering the component. Without React DOM render, not
Oh, and
gonna
this
happen.
is rendering up, yeah?
This
So
is
you're
rendering the
rendering
app.
up
Yeah.
here, here. And this is rendering up JS to HTML. Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you get
Yeah,
it now?
yeah, I got it, yeah. So this is like you saying what you want to render and you render up. For instance, if we have another,
Here,
um,
from
yeah, we can render it here.
yeah, from line 8 to line 10, you can put whatever HTML you like. And this HTML is gonna appear where the get element by the root is in the index
Yeah.
HTML. So replace the React from line 8 to line 10 with the code from the PDF file, which is h1, hello, React, blah, blah. That's it. Just copy and paste. Do you get now? So React DOM render is only one method,
Yeah.
but allows you actually to do this many, many times across your
Yeah, but
application.
that's bad practice, isn't it? I mean, in
Actually,
because
being
you're
React is not about practice. That's
yeah,
normal.
this is not like, I mean, this is not the place for this, for
Why
instance, to
no?
write
Why no?
HTML.
No. Why no? You can do this as many times as you want. For React, this is not even about practice. Go back to the index HTML. Okay. Now, instead of only this div, by the way, go to the browser and see the result. Why we're
The-
still seeing two. Hello React World. That's it. Do you see it?
yeah.
Okay. If you press Control U, you'll see the HTML code. See where line 31 was? Instead of this, you got something from React. JavaScript actually generates dynamically this H1.
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you get confused? Ask
Not
questions.
really. Not really confused. I understand it. I understand it. The thing is, I don't see the point of that
The
thing.
entire HTML gets built by React. So it's a shadow DOM. They have a parallel DOM, which gets rendered by the browser. You can go to the index HTML and now create, for example, create another div. Copy line 31 and place it down and paste it down. No, just 31. Just 31. Okay.
And place it
Paste
over
it
here.
somewhere in the body. Yeah. Paste it. Replace root with George, for example. George, go back JavaScript to index JavaScript. Okay. Copy whatever you have from line 7 to 10. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's going to show you the very same, but I wanted to show you something else.
It's not DOM element.
Uh, Georgie? Yeah, make sure you didn't make the mistake.
Yeah, it's not saying.
You didn't save it. You didn't save this one. Save it. Okay.
Yeah, it's now good.
Yeah, go back to the Visual Studio Code. Go back to your index JS. Okay, copy line 7 to 10. What I'm going to try to tell you is that you can have many times this thing. This is React. This is what React allows you to do. Copy, paste it here. Just replace root with Georgie now. You can change on line 12 whatever is written there. You can put whatever you like now. It shouldn't be only H1. It could be something else. Save it. Save it and look at the browser.
Yeah,
Do you get the idea?
yeah,
That's
I
it.
got it.
React is a simple library which allows you to do this magic.
Yep, I understand.
Okay, let's go further.
Yep. Hot module replacement. There is one thing that you can do in the source index.js file to improve your development experience as a developer. but it's optional and shouldn't overwhelm you in the beginning when learning React. In Create React App, it is already an advantage that the browser automatically refreshes the page when you change your source code. Try it by changing the hello world variable in your source app.js. We already did that a couple of times. But there is a better way of doing it. Hot Module Replacement (HMR) is a tool to reload your application in the browser. The browser doesn't perform a page refresh. You can easily activate it and create React app in your source index.js. Your entry point to React, you have to add one little configuration. If module.hot accept.
Those are all
Yeah.
things, I don't think we need to do that. By the way, let's go back to whatever we had with Visual Studio. Go into Visual Studio. Let's go back to whatever was it before these experiments which we put in. Why don't you go Control Z,
Which one?
Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, until we got again from line 7 to 9, whatever we originally had it. Yeah,
That's it.
this one. Exactly. I want to keep it like as it is.
Okay. This is it. Try again to change the hello world variable in your source.
Yeah, we did it. We did all that.
Yes. Complex JavaScript in JSX. Let's get back to your app component. So far, you rendered some primitive variable in your JSX. Now, you start to render a list of items. The list will be sample data in the beginning, but later you will fetch the data from an external API. That will be far more exciting. First, you have to define the list of items. So we have that items.
Yeah. This should go before the definition of the class in our
App
JSON.
app.js. So
Before the class.
here, yeah.
Mhm.
So we
This is not an
define the
object-oriented language, as you can see. So
yeah, that's what I've just I realize.
more like Python.
Yeah, it's more like Python. So this is our list where you have hard-coded API,
Hmm.
something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, information, hard-coded information.
Yep. The
Indentation
sample.
is, yeah,
So I
let's not fix it.
implementation. Okay, I fixed a bit.
Just a little bit. And now the objects, you also can push them a little bit to the right. Select from line 21. Select from line 21.
Yeah.
Top to the, I don't see the line.
You mean the app?
No, I mean now from line 6 to line 21 and push it from line 6 to 21 and press tab. See, this is an array of objects. This is how JavaScript, this is called JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. This is how JavaScript actually creates array of objects. The objects are separated by curly braces, and the array is with angle, not angle, but square braces.
Yes, but you see here
Uh-huh.
that intention is just 2 points, and here just 2 points again.
No,
Well, here it's
I'm
same, isn't it? 2 and 2.
no, yeah, that's fine. Right now it's fine. I'm talking about the square square brackets.
Oh, will have to be here, yeah?
Uh-huh. That's it. Square
Oh, okay.
braces, and after that you have two objects inside.
Yeah, that's the one.
This is
Oh,
NoSQL
so,
database. This is the strategy of the NoSQL as well. This is called a document. So we have two documents. If you use MongoDB, for example, you have two documents in one collection.
okay, so this is
Mhm.
something like collection of
Collection of objects. This is one
object.
object. From line 5 to line 13, you have one object. From line 6,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, this is one object,
And
this
this is
is
another
another
object.
object.
Exactly. And they are into
Yep.
array.
Yeah, and they're into that array, which is ending here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
fine. The sample data will reflect the data we will fetch later on front of the API. An item in the list has a title, URL, and author. Additionally, it comes with an identifier points which indicate how popular an article is and count of comments. Now you can use the built-in JavaScript mob functionality in your JSX. It enables you to iterate over your list of items to display them. Again, you use curly braces to encapsulate the JavaScript expression in your JSX. So class app extends, components, render, div. So how are we gonna express our data?
This is how you iterate throughout the
So
different.
we
No, it should be
render, return. Okay.
down in 39, in line 39.
Just comment this stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Comment this stuff, and we
39,
comment
line 39.
this stuff.
Mm.
Now paste that one here, and that return is not properly here
Uh,
because we are already. So we have to do the list first. We do it here before the return. So we do that list, no?
wait a second.
That's the one.
No, you gotta go back to the return.
Okay, so what we're doing, we're doing list.
No, copy, copy, yeah, copy this, and I'm gonna explain. I haven't seen it very well, but yeah, that's it. Look now, it's anonymous function. You gotta put it between the headers, of course, somewhere between the line 41 and 43.
Yeah, but you have two returns there,
No, you
no?
don't have two returns. I'm gonna explain you. This is a return of a function, of the
Ah, return
anonymous
the.
function.
Yeah, I understand. So you put it
No,
here.
probably you don't, but don't you worry about it. Just put it, yeah, like that. Look now, what do you have? You say list. List is defined above. It's a list of objects, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Every object list in JavaScript has a method which is called
Called map.
map. So the map actually, what does it? It accepts anonymous function. And now we are giving to map this function. It's a little bit mind-blowing.
So map is iterating in an anonymous function.
No, map
Right.
is iterating throughout the elements of the list, but map needs to get a function, and map gives to
Oh,
this function the items from the list
I
one by one.
yeah. So you're iterating with map uh, uh, to your objects, which is the
Okay.
whole object, and then you're listing
You're
the
giving
item.
these items to the function which maps has
Yeah.
received.
Yeah, and return only item title.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I understand now. You're giving item, you're giving item,
The item
and
is gonna
then
be the object.
it's like a for each loop, basically.
Exactly, like for each hero. This is a little bit crazy about React. You always have to use that.
But is it that JavaScript?
That's JavaScript.
That's JavaScript, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm gonna use Angular or React.
No, it
The
matters. Angular
syntax.
actually is using a different. Angular is using different language which is called TypeScript. In Angular, you're allowed to use for and for each. Here, not.
Okay, so you here you're using list.map.
Exactly. To iterate
Okay.
in React, you have to use this.
Mm, Here, React, React,
Redux.
Redux.
Okay.
But what I've noticed is not hot swapping anymore.
No, no. You mean refreshing? Refreshing.
Yeah.
Probably it's gonna refresh. I don't know. If you stop and start
So
it
if
again.
I change this to Georgie
Mhm.
and save it, oh yeah, it is. Sorry.
Before we changed the very core of the application,
Yeah.
just replacing
Now.
index.js with something else.
Okay.
Okay, just keep reading.
So using JavaScript in HTML is pretty powerful in JSX. Usually you might have used map to convert one list of items to another list of items. This time you use map to convert a list of items to HTML elements. So far, only the title will be displayed for each item. Yes, let's display some more of the item properties. And now we display...
Instead of return only this, you return all the elements. Yeah, exactly like that.
Now we return like that.
Mhm. Now, not sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it's working, but I don't know, the indentation is wrong.
it doesn't matter.
So list return, I don't know if it's worth it to do it. Span href is inside and all these ones and all these
It's
twice.
a little
That's
bit awkward, but you get used to this in React and you use it. As I
it.
said, we
And
start with React because it's the most popular from the three.
yeah, but don't have spaces here.
Ah,
However, we keep going.
mhm.
You can see how the map function is simply inlined in your JSX, each item property displayed in a span tag. Moreover, the URL property of the item is used in the href attribute of the anchor tag. React will do all the work for you and display each item, but you should add one helper for React to embrace its full potential and improve its performance. You have to assign a key attribute to each list element. That way React is able to identify, add, change it, and remove items when the list changes. A sample list items come with an identifier already.
This
So
is
that
very,
diff
very important.
key and this is in header. No, return. So we have to put it.
No,
Uh,
no, it's not there.
oh yeah. In the return inside, yeah.
Mhm.
So item.objectId,
Mhm.
and if we change something in the
Yes, but every opening div should have a closing div.
yeah, I see that. Now we close it here.
Not quite sure about that.
Now
Mhm. You have to wrap the entire thing with this opening div.
div and div.
Yeah,
Ah,
exactly.
you mean this is
No, it's
here?
this one, not this one. Look, now
Uh,
you have the div on 41. You have to put another closing div after 49. After 49.
ah, like that.
Exactly. But put it on a new line. Put it on a new line. And notice something else. You don't have in your objects anywhere object ID, right? You haven't defined that. Go back, go up on the list and look for object ID property.
No,
Ah, you have it. You
it's
have it, object ID.
0
Yeah, it's here.
and 1. Yeah.
So you have to give this property key a unique identifier so the React can identify the different roles. uniquely.
So this is how, yeah, you're giving object ID as a key.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you should make sure that the key attribute is table identifier. Don't make the mistake of using index of the item in the array. The array index isn't stable at all. For instance, when the list changes its order, you have to have a hard time identifying the items properly. So they mean you have to use like a unique ID, like in the from the database. You
Exactly,
can use
exactly. This
your
is what I mean.
primary key. You can use
Exactly,
your primary
exactly,
keys.
exactly.
So they're mentioning. Shall I copy this one or not?
Don't do this. See, on top what they say. Don't do this.
Yeah, don't do this. You're displaying bot list items now. You can start your app, open your browser, and see bot items of the list displayed. They are displayed.
Control F12. You can press F12 for front-end development. Your best friend is the development tools.
Legendary combat.
But what to look at that F12?
Close it. We don't need it right now, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah, we don't need it at the minute, yeah. Oh, I
Control Shift Tab. Control Shift T. Yeah. Control Shift T.
Control Shift.
Again, Control Shift T. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I learned hotkey today. So now, ES6 arrow functions. Oh, that's lambda functions.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Those are the lambdas.
JavaScript ES6 introduced arrow functions. An arrow function expression is shorter than a function expression. Code playground. So function,
And
arrow
the
function.
equivalent in arrow. It doesn't matter.
But what you save here, just what? Function.
Yeah, you say the word function.
That's it. But you have to be aware of its functionalities. One of them is a different behavior with the this object. A function expression always defines its own this object. Arrow function expressions still have this object of the enclosing context. Don't get confused when using this and in an arrow function.
This is another something inherited from ECMAScript 5, which they consider again a mistake by design. When you use expression function, the keyword this is connected to the global object. This is another thing which probably you will never learn, you will never see, you will never stumble upon, because you're using a modern JavaScript. But you have to be aware about that. If you use expression function, blah blah, function expression, the this keyword is connected to something else. And the this keyword in a lambda function, or arrow function as they call the lambdas here, is connected to the only object, which is very, very important. As I said, you probably will never think about that.
Okay. There is another valuable fact about arrow functions regarding the parentheses. You can remove the parentheses when the function gets only one argument, but have to keep them when it gets multiple arguments. Yeah. And items not allowed, item key allowed, item key. Yeah. So item can be used without, and that's probably the normal one.
Yeah.
And this is not allowed because you have two arguments,
exactly.
and this is allowed because you have parentheses. Yeah. However, let's have a look at the map function. You can write it more concisely with an E6 arrow function. Yeah, so list.map item. Yep. So you just replace the keyword function here, and you pass item arrow arrow item. Oh no, sorry, just arrow. That's it.
So it's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter. Additionally, you can remove the block body block body, yeah.
The block,
Meaning,
the braces, the curly braces.
you can remove these braces, no?
The curly braces, opening and closing.
This one.
This one and the closing online. Here is difficult to say where.
Sure, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this was the another brace. No,
Oh, yeah.
probably on 59, but the last closing brace down.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you don't
Oh.
need return anymore. Ah, no. Yeah, you don't need the return anymore. If you do that, remember the lambda functions in C? If they are lambda expressions, you don't need the keyword return. It automatically returns. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's automatically returned, but then
This is a brace which I
yeah,
don't.
that I don't. Oh, you don't need this one. Yeah, and you don't need the return. And that should yes. So you
No,
don't
still
need the
something wrong.
semicolons.
You don't need even the brace on 51 and 40 probably.
Yeah, because you don't have return. Now you need just semicolon.
Yeah, it looks like.
Expected. Item, and then you give
No, the
that.
curly brace should go on line 51 after the, I think. So move on line 51, the curly brace
Yeah.
should be after the semicolon.
Oh yeah, I deleted the wrong curly braces.
Exactly, maybe I made you delete. Now it's fine.
Yeah, because you don't need semicolon of the return, because we removed the return.
That's it. So
Still working.
they explain the arrow functions now.
Yeah, and
And
exercises.
that's it. Shall we stop right now?
Yeah, sure. We can keep next time. It's already very interesting information.
You can read it yourself. It's very very useful.